Have you ever had that feeling where you look at your bank account after a year of grinding, working overtime, and skipping vacations, and the number is almost exactly the same as it was 12 months ago? It is frustrating. It is exhausting. You feel like you are doing everything right. You have the degree, you have the good job, you are being responsible. But for some reason, the exit door to real wealth feels like it is being moved further away every time you take a step toward it. I am Finn, your finance buddy, and today I want to talk about the invisible chains. These are the money traps that do not look like traps. In fact, most of them are marketed to us as success or being smart. I know them because I didn't just study them, I lived them. I spent years falling into every single one of these holes, wondering why I was still broke while earning more than ever. Today, we are going to expose the 7 most dangerous wealth killers, and if you stay until the end, I'm going to show you the one psychological shift that finally broke the cycle for me. Let's start with the one that hurt my pride the most. I call it the "I deserve this" tax. A few years back, I got my first major promotion, a 20% raise. I remember walking out of that office feeling like a king, and the first thought in my head wasn't, "Great, I can max out my Roth IRA." No, it was, "Finn, you have worked so hard. You have been grinding for 3 years. You deserve that German SUV." This is the most common middle-class trap. We treat our income like a scorecard for our ego. Every time the income goes up, the lifestyle rises to meet it, or sometimes it even jumps ahead. The problem is the opportunity cost. That $600 car payment? If I had invested that money into a simple S&P 500 index fund instead, over 30 years at a 7% average return, that reward would have turned into over $730,000. I didn't buy a car, I bought a $700,000 hole in my retirement. When you say, "I deserve this" for a depreciating asset, you are actually saying, "I deserve to stay in this job for another 10 years because I can't afford to quit." Real reward isn't a leather seat, it's freedom. Now let's talk about safety. My parents always told me, "Finn, put your money in a savings account. It is safe there." And I listened. I had $50,000 sitting in a big-name bank account for years. I felt like a responsible adult. But here's the math they don't teach you in school. If inflation is at 3%, which is a fairly standard historical average, and your safe bank account is paying you 0.01% interest, you are not saving money. You are losing purchasing power every single second. In 10 years, that $50,000 would still say $50,000 on the screen, but it would only buy you about $37,000 worth of stuff. The middle class is terrified of the stock market because it goes up and down. But the real risk isn't the market's volatility, it's the guaranteed loss of your money's value in a safe account. I was so busy avoiding a 10% market dip that I didn't notice the invisible thief of inflation stealing 25% of my future. This next one, this one makes me want to scream. Most people treat taxes like the weather. They think it's just something that happens to them. They wait until April, hand their papers to a guy in a strip mall, pay $300, and hope for a refund. Listen, taxes are likely your single largest expense in your entire life. Bigger than your house, bigger than your kids' education. For many families, taxes consume more money than housing, transportation, food, and entertainment combined. When I started my career, I didn't know what a 401k was. I didn't know about HSAs. I was paying the ignorance tax. By not using tax-advantaged accounts, I was essentially giving the government a tip that I didn't have to give. If you can legally reduce your taxable income by $10,000 a year, that is $2,000 to $3,000 of free money back in your pocket. Stop being passive about taxes. It is not about being a tax cheat. It's about following the rules the wealthy use to keep what they earn. We have talked about big traps, but let's talk about the micro traps. I call this the convenience leak. I once did an audit of my own bank statement. I found a gym membership I hadn't used in 6 months, $60. 3 different streaming services where I only watched one show, $45. A premium app for productivity that I never opened, $12. And the big one, food delivery fees. I realized I was spending nearly $400 a month on convenience. Now, $400 doesn't sound like wealth-destroying money, but again, let's look at the math. If you invest $400 a month into a boring index fund starting at age 25, by age 65, that convenience has cost you $1.05 million. Is a cold burrito delivered by a stranger worth $1 million to your future self? We are being nickeled and dimed into poverty. These companies have entire departments dedicated to making it as easy as possible for $10 to leave your pocket. You have to make it hard. This next one is psychological. I call it change paralysis. I stayed at my first real job for 5 years. I was comfortable. I liked the coffee machine. I liked my desk. I was getting a 3% raise every year. I thought I was being loyal. But then I looked at the market. People with my same skills who were switching companies every 2 to 3 years were earning 30 to 50% more than me. By staying comfortable, I was paying a stability tax. Statistics show that employees who stay at companies longer than 2 years get paid 50% less over their lifetime. I was terrified of the risk of a new job, but the real risk was the $20,000 a year I was leaving on the table. That is $20,000 that could have been working for me in the market. Don't let your comfort zone become your financial coffin. This brings us to the expert dependency, the trap of thinking that money is too complicated for you to handle. The industry wants you to feel small. They use words like alpha, beta, tax loss harvesting, and derivative hedging, so you feel like you need to pay them a 2% fee to manage your money. But here is the secret. 80 to 90% of professional fund managers fail to beat a simple, low-cost index fund over a 15-year period. You are paying someone to perform worse than a computer. Stop looking for a guru or a guy. Be your own guy. The math is simple. Buy the whole market. Keep your fees low. Wait a long time. Everything else is just noise designed to separate you from your cash. So, how do we break out? It is not about becoming a hermit who eats beans and rice in the dark. It is about a shift in identity. Most people are consumers. They earn, they spend, and they hope there is something left over. Wealthy people are owners. They earn, they buy assets first, and they live on what is left. I want to hear from you in the comments. Which one of these hit the closest to home? For me, it was definitely the SUV. Man, I still regret that car. Let me know yours. I will be down there replying. If you are ready to stop being a consumer and start being an owner, you are in the right place. I am Finn. I am glad you are here. Let's get you to that first 10,000, then that first 100,000, and eventually to freedom. I will see you in the next video. Cheers!